are feeling. Now let's talk about what the big elephant in the room is, and that is the full moon in Scorpio. Actually, let me put this chart up officially. So this is what we have for the full moon, and the full moon in Scorpio is going to be 11 degrees. We'll talk about that, but any type of full moon in May is going to celebrate abundance. It's going to be having people that you love around you and surrounded by loved ones. It demonstrates your passion for things you love and feeds that fire flame. Okay, this moon is also called the couple's moon. It's called the flower moon, and it's called the moon of the return of the frogs. This moon is also about opening and encounters. Any moon during May. Now, this full moon in Scorpio is going to happen in LA time because I'm in Los Angeles at 10:23 a.m. Okay. Any rituals that I've discussed about this full moon, try to do it the day before. So try to do it Thursday. Okay. And May 1st, too. Wow. Also, don't forget to charge your crystals. I have to remind you because I need to remind myself. Okay. This full moon doesn't just reveal the truth, it forces you to act on it. The moon rules any moon. I mean, not any moon. The moon itself, it rules your feelings, your instincts, your emotional needs, your mother, your inner energy. Okay. The nighttime. Scorpio energy is very intense, it's very private, it's very transformative. And you put those together, you got not very surface level energy, you got that soul level energy. It's about what you feel. And that's why I don't like Scorpio full moons, because it's all about intensity and full deepness and no surface level. Even though I am a Scorpio moon, I love to be deep. But that full moon in Scorpio always takes it there, okay? Emotional extremes, holding on to pain, jealousy, possessiveness, testing people emotionally is what you get with this. Also, there's always something dealing with transformation, okay? When you deal with Scorpio energy, you're also dealing with the eighth house. They're very connected. And when you have eight placements in the eighth house, there's always like surgery and a transformation, or like transgender, literally transgender kind of energy. But Scorpio energy, it's about death, it's about rebirth, it's about endings, it's about beginnings, it's about fear because there's some betrayal. There is a need for emotional security, very defensive, very protective. Because your emotions could be feeling unsafe when there's a Scorpio full moon. Let me see, but it could be revealing something anytime you have the full moon. Now, this full moon in Scorpio, the Scorpio energy is ruled by two planets. The traditional planet is Mars. The modern planet is Pluto. Mars is in the sign. In the sign Aries. Mars is about passion, anger, and reactivity. Pluto, again, that obsession, that transformation, that control energy. And now Mars is in Aries. It's at home in Aries. So that means it's extra bold, okay? It's extra impulsive. It's very action orientated. So this full moon could bring a lot of confrontations, decisions, or taking action after emotions are realized. Also, too, Mars is sitting in between Saturn and Mercury, so discussing it, communicating it, at the same time being very serious, or there's a father figure hovering over you. And it deals with your emotions as well. Anytime you have a full moon, too, you have the opposition between the masculine and the feminine. You have the father figure and the mother figure. You have the man and a woman. You have the internal and the external. Okay. It can't see eye to eye. Now, Pluto is also the ruler of Scorpio energy. So that means it's in charge of also this moon. And Pluto's in the sign of Aquarius. You are dealing with collective power, technology, influence, social media, also communication as well. Again, so those aspects could be dealing with your intense emotions. You could be dealing with a group, or you could be dealing with something that's very futuristic, or you could be like power to the people and you're like doing a rebellion and there's a lot of emotions involved. Okay. So that is what's happening. I did not look at anyone else's chart with this. But well, before I even get into like Trump and everyone else, before I take a glance, first, let me tell you, this full moon is sextile. Ooh, the the south node. It's also trining The North Node. So things that we are destined to do and we can release and let go is great during this full moon. So whatever the transformation that's going to happen, there is going to be very intuitive spiritual guides that are naturally going to work with you with this emotional energy. Also too, it is sextile square. It is squaring Pluto. We'll get into that. But first, I wanted to say that Pluto is also sextile all of these energies here. And since Pluto is the ruler, there is this energy that if you want to put in the hard work, if you want to use your intuition, if you want to have the drive, there is that during this full moon in Scorpio. Being very disciplined, having reality check, having a purpose, having a direction, having an action. Now, whenever we have a full moon, it is like the climax. It's the zenith. Like we're at the peak. This is where ish hits the fan, right? So there is this awakening that happens. Pluto in Aquarius is also trining this air energy. So there's sudden relationship shifts. There's also like a freedom of being that strong female energy. Unexpected conversations, a lot of social media involved here, a lot of transformations in relationships, a lot of intensity, therapy. When it comes to having some harmony and balance, this also could represent law because Venus represents law. But shifts in public narratives create sudden connections, maybe a breakup, but it's for the best here. Because that's trining there. But the full moon in Scorpio is also not just trining this energy, it has this beautiful triangle here. Two, also, it has this energy with Jupiter. Very positive. Jupiter is a planet, a benefic planet, and it's huge. And it's in Cancer. There's a lot of emotional support, healing. The moon is the ruler of Cancer, so it's working really well. A lot of protective energy, feeling emotionally secure. Even though that Scorpio moon doesn't feel secure, doesn't trust anyone, Jupiter is here to say, come on, we can trust, especially when you're at home and where you're at a place that feels safe, and when you're with loved ones. Now, it is squaring at Pluto. Now, this one is the part that's interesting to me. The ruler, it is squaring, it's not getting along. Power struggles, control issues, emotional pressure. Maybe there's some tensions in some relationships. Maybe this is, do I have control? Do I have freedom? I mean, am I being controlled? Do I have freedom? Emotional breakthroughs, too. Now, this is so this one is a big doozy. This one is a positive doozy. This one is positive. We got more positive than negative. I do want you to understand that, but that Pluto is working with this energy. We tie it all together. It makes a very interesting sauce, okay? Because Pluto is positive with Uranus and Venus. It's not positive with the emotions. Okay. So there's something there positive with the female relationships who is very highly intellectual, who's very weird and out of the box and quirky. But you're at a weird, quirky party and everything seems fine. But your emotions are not quite sitting right because someone's a little bit controlling. So it's almost like this controlling aspect, this controlling person is really great. And you don't feel safe emotionally. Okay. Or you don't trust the situation because that Scorpio, the investigation, boy, is high. But look, following that intuition, go with your gut during the Scorpio full moon. It is at 11 degrees. 11 degrees is Aquarius degree. That is things that are very weird, unexpected, surprises. It also deals with detachment, not wanting to be emotional. So someone could not be emotional and they're treating you like you're too emotional kind of energy. Aquarius energy also is very collective, a lot of people, a lot of networks, a group or organization. It also represents science, astrology in the future. Maybe there's a sudden realization, things happen suddenly. Maybe the truth comes out unexpectedly. Maybe emotions shift quickly because Aquarius moves really fast. So collectively with this, we can see a lot of emotional truths being revealed because this Pluto energy likes to keep things hidden and be very secretive, and it's no longer hidden. Okay, in the sign Scorpio, these are things that you deal with that's very taboo. It's almost like if someone has an addiction of something that's very taboo. We won't say what it is, that you look on the internet and you don't want anyone to see it and you have secrets. And this could be revealing of that as well. And it really works for a female who's very intellectual, but they're investigating you, okay, or you are vice versa. That could be happening. Also, too, Pluto with emotions, it deals with some power dynamics, control issues, some power struggles, major conversations that are triggering. That's very transformative, but it hits the fan. Okay. Yeah. So you could be having an emotional breakthrough. Maybe someone's confronting you. Maybe someone's intimidating you. Maybe, yeah, the secret is being revealed. Okay. So you have that as well. Let me tell you some rituals you could do when you have a Scorpio full moon. The theme of this is about releasing, it's about the truth, it's about transformation, it's about taking action. This isn't a soft full moon. This is a cut off. This is a face it. This is a transform it. Especially with Mars being the ruler and Mars in Aries, Pluto in Aquarius. This is all about letting go. This is also about communicating and have intensity with some communications. So when you have this, when you're doing the Scorpio full moon and you want to do some rituals, you want to release and maybe write things down. Not maybe, write things down, because communication is very strong with this full moon. Write what you are done with, write what you need healing with, write what feels toxic or draining, or if something is being controlling or you are being obsessive with someone, patterns, people, or habits that keep repeating. You need to be honest, you need to be deep, and write it down and release it. Okay. Now usually you can burn it, but I would say flush it down the toilet. Because you're dealing with water energy, tear it up and throw it away. You could do that. If you're by the water, you could put it in an ocean. That would even be better. Scorpio energy is like lake, water, ocean kind of thing. So that, just release it. You could do like a cord cutting, cleansing kind of energy. Maybe take a shower and say all the negative things before you cleanse off. And then after the shower, after you rinse off, then that helps. Showers are the best thing. It regenerates it. It gives me energy. I was regenerized. That's not the word. But it gives me energy. But maybe there is an energy that you want clean. So say it, say how you feel about it, be real about it, be honest about it, and take a shower and rinse it away. Picture it going down the drain. You can actually do that. Maybe it's about your ex. Maybe it's about a draining relationship. Maybe a weird relationship. Maybe you have obsessive thoughts. Maybe there's some emotional attachments. Whatever it is, Scorpio rules the deep bonds and the unhealthy ones too, and you can release that. Okay. You could do this with a bath. You don't have to do it with a shower. Maybe take a bath and put some Epsom salt in, maybe some essential oils that will work really good. I'm trying to think of some essential oils. Don't quote me on the essential oil. You can use essential oils, research it, because if you're dealing with the private area, it gets very sensitive there. But put some essential oils in there to release the energy and cleanse the energy about forgiving and releasing things that no longer work for you, or it's not supposed to be with you. Okay. What else? Because Mars is the ruler of this energy, you could take some action. You can work out. And while you're working out, say you're no longer going to do this like a boxing class kind of energy. Maybe you can take action in the closing of whatever it is you're trying to do, like maybe send the actual message to confront someone in a nice, positive way to release. Maybe you need to make that decision and do something special when making the decision, because Mars in Aries being the ruler of this and communicating that will help. Maybe you need to set some boundaries because it's sitting next to Saturn. That will be helping. Maybe you need to start something new or start something that deals with the individual or the self, or be a little selfish because Mars is in Aries. So you need to do that before. Say you're going to do it, write it down. That is also a ritual. Also, just speaking the truth. Scorpio energy is all about the truth, and Aquarius energy is all about communicating it. So major speaking the truth for sure. Intuitive energy, use it. You could do card readings, tarot reading the day before. That would work too. Any type of power control, where you feel out of control, where you're giving your power away, where things need to change and transform. Write that down, release it, and there you go. And always pray. Okay. Don't ignore your emotions. Don't avoid difficult conversations. Don't hold on to what's clearly ending. Okay. Yeah. Try to be nice though. Try not to be too intense. Ugh. You know, Venus is also sextile these planets here. So while this planet is the ruler of the full moon, Venus, and it's trying this energy is also sextile here. So anything that you want to put action towards, think long term, or set boundaries, or use your intuition, 100% will work. 100% will work. Okay, because you are now releasing things, and what you want to work hard for, your harmony and balance, would definitely work if you put into action, if you set the boundaries, if you think long term, if you're serious, if you're thinking about details, and you're using compassion and love and your intuition. Okay. Yeah, so that is what we have for the full moon. Let me pull a card for the full moon. We'll pull some cards, okay? Some of the cards that I have. Hold up, wait a minute. For the Scorpio full moon, we have abundance and thinking about what you have and showing off what you have, right? Also, a lot of people thinking in lack. So there are people, there could be jealousy here with this Scorpio full moon. So be aware of that. Also, feeling like you're the victim. It's all in your head. You're making it up, okay? You need to see the reality, and you need to get out of that dream because it's fake. It's an illusion. There's about big energy about your ego and your strength and your creativity and compassion. And the compassion is your strength. Okay, being loving and creative is your strength. Also, we have this, staying strong, not giving up. Persevering, okay? Even when you feel wounded, even if you're like, I have a headache, you're driving me insane, I'm physically tired of this. Well, you got to stay strong. Okay. That is what we have for this Scorpio full moon.